Hello students, welcome to SES channel. In the last class I have discussed important questions on life processes. Now we'll discuss important questions on control and coordination. Okay. First we'll look into what are plant hormones and what are the functions of these plant hormones. Plant hormones are the growth regulators. They can be growth regulators or growth inhibitors. Growth regulators are auxins, gibberellins or cytokinins and cytokinins. Plant growth inhibitors are abscisic acid and ethylene. Okay. Now we'll see the functions of these plant hormones. Okay. Gibberellins, what is the main function? It will speed up seed germination. This is going to speed up seed germination. Okay, and it will help in promote the stem elongation. It will help in blooming the flower. Where are the gibberellins present? At the shoot and root, at the stem and root apical meristems, and the seeds too. So if at all gibberellins, first you can write to speed up seed germination and stem elongation and also flower blooming. Auxins, they stimulate stem elongation. This is growth regulator 1, 2. Okay, they stimulate stem elongation. They are present in the apical meristem at the apex here, so that stem is elongated. Okay. Next, ethylene. They help in fruit ripening. It is an inhibitor. It helps in leaf dropping. Okay, so they are present in all parts of the fruits, all parts of the plant, including fruits. Auxins, they not only help in stem elongation, but also they stimulate root branching and promote fruit development. Auxins. Coming to abscisic acid, this is one more. Abscisic acid is also an inhibitor. It inhibits the growth and reproduction. It inhibits growth and reproduction. It is present in leaves, fruits and root tips. Coming to cytokinins, they cause rapid cell division and help in they cause rapid cell division. They are present in roots and fruits. Okay, these are the plant hormones. If you write like this, plant hormones, these are regulators, these are growth inhibitors. Inhibitors are abscisic acid and ethylene. Ethylene is mainly for fruit ripening. That at least you remember that, fruit ripening. Abscisic acid, it inhibits growth and reproduction. Abscisic acid. Okay. Next, coming to gibberellins, it is for seed germination. It will speed up seed germination, and auxins, stem elongation. Coming to cytokinins, they cause rapid cell division, so that the plant can grow fast. Okay, these are the plant hormones. Now coming to the tropic movements with suitable examples. This is an expected question. It can be asked as an 8-mark question. What do you mean by tropic movements? Tropic movements are the movements the plant grow or move in response to different environmental factors. Okay, different environmental. It can be gravity, it can be light, it can be water. Okay, based on these different environmental factors, the movement of plant or response to the environmental factor, those are called tropic movements. First, it is phototrophism. The name itself says photo means light. Plant will respond to the light. Wherever light is there, the plant will move to that. Example, sunflower. Sunflower will move towards the sunlight, isn't it? Phototrophism, response of a plant to sunlight. It is phototrophism. Sunflower turns to the sun. Okay. Geotrophism, response of the plant to gravitational force. Okay. Roots, they are growing towards the gravity, isn't it? Yes, this is called geotrophism or gravitrophism. Roots grow down, they are growing down towards the gravity, so it is positive. Questions can be asked, 4-mark questions, a passage can be given, and for this questions can be asked. Roots, what type of trophic movement do they show? It is geotrophism and positive geotrophism. Why? Because they are going towards the gravity. It is positive. Against the gravity when they grow, stem grows against the gravity, so it is negative geotrophism. Okay, like that you can write. Okay. Example, a seedling roots grow downward in the soil while its stems, seedling you can see, root grows downwards and stem grows upwards. Okay. Then hydrotrophism, response of a plant to water. Roots, they penetrate deeper into the soil and they'll find out where the water is available and they move in that direction. That is called hydrotrophism. Okay, response of plant to water availability in the soil is called hydrotrophism. Roots of the plant, they will grow in the direction where the water is available. Next is thigmotrophism. Thigmo is touch. Don't write the example of touch me not plant for this. This is the trophic movements, or they are response to the environmental factors. Those are nastic movements, those are response to touch or any physical stimulus. These are trophic movements or response to the what you can say, environmental factors. Don't get confused. That is thigmonasty. Mimosa pudica, when you touch, that is touch me not, when you touch it closes. That is thigmonasty. This is thigmotrophism. It is response to the touch. The plant itself, it touches when it touches any wall or any stick. It grows along the direction of that whatever it is going to touch. Example, vanilla plant, it may go, or grapevine may go, tendrils of that, they may grow. Okay, grapevines, they wrap the object, you place a stick, they will wind to that stick like that. That is thigmotrophism. Okay. Next, chemotrophism. Response of a plant to chemo, the name itself says, to the chemical. It is called chemotrophism when nutrients or insufficient nutrients are there. Soil doesn't have nutrients, lack of nutrients. When nutrients are added in the form of fertilizers, the roots, they take up where the fertilizers are available. This is chemotrophism. Okay, roots may grow towards the nutrients in the soil, like towards the fertilizers. Okay, so that they can survive and adapt to the environment. These are the 5 types of trophic movements. It can be asked as an 8-mark question. Next, coming to name 2 components of peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system, you know, CNS, central nervous system has 2, brain and spinal cord. Whatever are arising from the central nervous system, it is called peripheral nervous system. From brain, it is cranial nerves. From spinal cord, it is spinal nerves. Okay. So, okay. Now, coming to this nervous system, overall look of this nervous system. Nervous system is basically divided into CNS, in human beings, CNS, central nervous system, and peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system, I told you, it is brain and spinal cord. Brain and spinal cord. From that, nerves arise. From spinal cord, it is spinal nerves, and from brain, it is cranial nerves. Peripheral nervous system is further divided into autonomous nervous system and somatic nervous system. Autonomous nervous system, it is further divided into sympathetic and parasympathetic. One acts, one delays. It is like that. One is raising, one is calming. Sympathetic and parasympathetic, like antagonistic activities and the opposite actions will occur in the autonomous nervous system. This will occur mainly in the internal organs and glands, this autonomic nervous system. Somatic nervous system, voluntary actions like movement of your hands, legs, all this voluntary actions with your permit, with your will. If you are doing it, is called voluntary. With your will, if you are doing. If you are not, if the actions are done without your will, they are involuntary actions. Heartbeat is not voluntary, it is involuntary. Will you control heart? Heart pump now, heart stop now. Can you control? No, it is involuntary. Okay, voluntary somatic nervous system, all the voluntary actions. Again, it is further divided into sensory and motor. Sensory and motor. This is the division of nervous system. Okay. Now, coming to hormones are important in control and coordination. Brain and its parts are important. Reflex arc is important. Question can be given. Brain can be given. Its parts, function of the parts can be asked. Or for 8-mark question, entire brain and its functions can be asked. Neuron, they may ask to draw the diagram of neuron and different parts of neuron, structure and functions of neuron, that can also be asked. So all these are the questions from you can expect from control and coordination. Why is iodized salt advisable? We'll discuss about hormones and later on we'll come to this question. Or shall we finish it because I may forget it? Iodine is essential for making thyroid. You know, thyroid is present here, thyroid gland is present here, thyroid hormone, thyroid hormones, thyroxine and triiodothyronin, T3 and T4. T3 and T4. Iodine is essential for making these thyroid hormones. That is the reason they advise you to take iodized salt. If at all you are not taking iodized salt, the thyroid hormones are not prepared, and thyroid hormones, they help in metabolic activities. Metabolism doesn't occur properly. Metabolism is, we know about metabolism, whatever reactions are occurring in the body, it is metabolism. It is catabolism and anabolism that I explained. So metabolic activities, this regulates thyroxine, it regulates carbohydrates and protein metabolism in our body. When there is insufficient iodine, the thyroid gland enlarges in size and few people will have like this. This is called goiter. G-O-I-T-R-E, goiter. Okay. You can find this in hilly regions where they don't find this iodized salt. Now it is available in the market. So now we don't see much cases of goiter now. Now we'll see the structure of neuron. Structure of neuron. Look at the picture. This is one neuron. This is one neuron. So neuron, it has, these are branch-like projections, isn't it? These are called dendrites. This is the cell body or soma. Cell body or soma. See, this is a bigger one, larger one in the neuron. It has a nucleus and also it has neuroplasm and it has cell organelles. It has Golgi apparatus and mitochondria too. This is axon, the long tubular thing, it is called axon. This is covered with the sheath which forms nerve fiber continuously, which is connected nerve, it is called nerve fiber. The axon, actual axon is called the nerve fiber. When all nerve fibers are connected, it is called a nerve. Okay. The axon, it may be covered by this one or two sheaths. These are called myelin sheath. When it is covered with myelin sheath, it is called myelinated neuron. When it is not covered, it is called non-myelinated neuron. The places over here, the gaps over here, these are called nodes of Frenner. Okay, these are the nerve endings. These are the, this is the terminal point and these are called the nerve endings. Okay, and they have these neurotransmitters. the gap between this nerve ending of one neuron and the dendrites of other neuron, this is called synapse. This is called synapse. So we'll look into this. Question can be asked like write the structure and functions of write about the structure and functions of neuron. So you are going to draw this figure neatly, label it neatly, underline the important parts, write the side headings and underline them. Dendrites, I told you, they are branched structures and they collect the information. Dendrites, they collect the information from previous neuron and they pass to the next neuron. In soma or cell body, the processing of the information occurs. Whether to continue the information or not, that is done in soma. So that is broad rounded part of the neuron. It continues, it contains cytoplasm, that is called neuroplasm, I told you, and a nucleus. Okay, and all cell organelles are also present. Coming to axon, where this is the long tube-like structure where the information is carried to the next neuron. Okay, to the next neuron. It is covered by one or two sheets and that forms a nerve fiber, that is called nerve fiber. When all these nerve fibers are connected, it is called a nerve. Coming to nerve endings, the axon, it is branched at the terminal point and these can terminate into either muscle. If we look into this picture, this may either terminate into a muscle or a gland, or it may enter into this the connection between these two through synapse. Okay, and or forms synapse with the dendrites of other neurons. Synapse, this is the synapse. This is the gap between the nerve endings of previous neuron and the next dendrite of the next neuron, and here the signals are transmitted as chemical signals. Signals are transmitted as chemical signals and these are called neurotransmitters. Types of neurons. There are three types of neurons: sensory neurons, motor neurons and interneurons. Sensory neurons, they carry information from the sensory receptors to the brain. They are carrying the information and in the brain it is programmed and whatever action to be done, what is the target organ, that information is carried by motor neuron from the brain to the effector organ. That may be a muscle or anything which has to respond. That is a function of motor neuron. Motor neurons, they carry information from the brain to the effector organ. Okay, interneurons, they are present everywhere in the body. This is the structure of neuron. We'll see the functions. We'll see what are the main functions of neuron. Signal reception. We have discussed this, but in the form of subheadings I have given. Signal reception. Dendrites, they receive signals. They receive the signals. You have seen dendrites, isn't it? These are the dendrites. They receive the signals. This is soma. This is the cell body. This is the soma. These are the dendrites, isn't it? They receive the information from other neurons or from the sensory receptor. That is, first it is receiving the information. Next, the processing. I told you the processing of this information, it goes in soma. Okay, the cell body processes the incoming signals and decides if they have to be passed. Then signal transmission, it is through axon. It is through axon. Axon. The axon transmits these electrical impulses from the cell body to the axon terminals. You have the terminals, you have seen, nerve roots, you have seen. Okay, then axon terminals, they release neurotransmitters, the chemical signals or chemical messengers, across the synapse. Synapse is a gap between this next dendrite and the nerve endings, and across the synapse to the next neuron or to the muscle or gland, and they will pass the message. These are the functions: signal signal reception, and it will receive the signal, signal processing, signal transmission, and signal transfer. Okay, these 4 if you write and write the structure, 8 marks you'll get. Next, the important one is brain. Brain, a picture-based questions may be asked. They'll not ask you to draw the diagram of brain. A picture-based question may be asked, and question may be asked like write important parts of brain and their functions. We'll look into the brain. This is the brain. Let us look into the brain. The major part, this one is cerebrum, forebrain. This is cerebrum, this part, and this is midbrain. Midbrain consists of tectum and cerebral peduncle, and this is back part. Back part, you can see this is hindbrain. Back you have hindbrain, which consists of pons, medulla, and cerebellum. Pons, this is pons, this is medulla, medulla oblongata, it continues as spinal cord, isn't it? This is cerebellum, this is cerebellum. We'll look into the functions of all these parts. Okay, coming to forebrain. Forebrain, it includes cerebrum or cerebral cortex. Cerebrum, it is the important one. It has hemisphere, cerebral hemispheres, and olfactory lobes. Olfactory lobes and diencephalon and motor areas. All that you can call that cerebrum. Okay, olfactory lobes and all this. What is the main function of cerebrum? You can write whatever you think, whatever you imagine, whatever motor areas they are helping you to move. The movement, speech area is present here to speak. So all these functions, intelligence, everything is present in the forebrain. Okay, these are the functions: thinking, intelligence, and voluntary actions. Olfactory lobes, olfactory, it is for smell, isn't it? Centers for smell. And diencephalon, these are the centers for hunger and thirst. Motor areas for voluntary actions, the movements. Okay, midbrain, that part, the white part, you know, that is tectum and cerebral peduncle. These control the reflex movements of neck, the reflex movement of head and neck and trunk in response to the visual and auditory stimuli. If you look at something, you move your head, you do like this, all these movements, they are controlled by tectum. And the cerebral peduncle, when light falls on you, this closes, isn't it? Okay. Cerebral peduncle, this controls reflex movements of the eye muscles, that is cerebral peduncle, just now I told, and changes in pupil and shape of the eyelids. When light falls, will close your eyes, that is constriction of pupil and dilation of pupil, it occurs, isn't it? That is cerebral peduncle is responsible for that. This is midbrain, this is forebrain. Forebrain, you will write thinking, intelligence, about hunger and thirst. Olfactory lobes are present in forebrain. Olfactory lobes are for smell, and motor area is present, that is for movement. Okay, all this you are going to write in forebrain. Midbrain, reflex movements are controlled, tectum and cerebral peduncle, your eye movements especially. Hindbrain, questions can be asked, a picture is given like this, question can be asked, what is the function of pons, or which of these function is given, organ is asked. Function is given, part is asked. Okay, midbrain, it regulates respiration. Which part of brain regulates respiration? Pons. Okay, and this it is intermediate. It relays information because it is present over here. Over here, it relays information between cerebrum and cerebellum. See, information between cerebrum and cerebellum. I think I am clear here, because pons, this is pons. It relays information between cerebellum, this is cerebellum, and this is cerebrum. Okay, that is pons. Pons regulates respiration. Coming to cerebellum. Cerebellum, it helps in that structure, it is like something like leaf-like, isn't it? That helps in coordination, balancing, posture balancing, especially posture balancing of the body. Okay, and it is responsible for the precise functions like holding the pen, writing, precise functions. Then medulla, it controls involuntary actions. What are the involuntary? Taking in breathe. Though I am teaching, I am taking this video and giving lecture, my breathing doesn't stop. It is continuous process. Though though you sleep, does it stop? No, it continues. That is because medulla, it controls these involuntary actions of as breathing. And also, it is control center for reflexes such as swallowing, coughing, that is coughing, and vomiting. Questions can be asked: which part of the brain controls vomiting or swallowing? It is medulla. It is medulla. So parts I have given and functions also I have explained. This can be asked directly as 8-mark question, or picture-based. Picture can be given and asked part and function, or function is given and what is a part can be asked. Next, coming to the important one are hormones. Enzymes, I told you, important one. Hormones are also important one. Hormones, mostly a tabular column is given. Through this you can read out and you can rate. That is easy. Okay, pituitary gland, all these are the ductless glands. Hormones are nothing but the chemicals. They are transported through the blood to different parts of the body, and they help us to do different functions. Okay, one help us to grow, okay, and one regulates the sugar levels, and one is helpful in the reproduction when it is necessary for, okay, like that. We'll see the different glands. These are the ductless glands. Don't have duct particularly. There is no duct particularly for this. These are called endocrine glands. They release the hormones directly into the blood. So pituitary gland, pituitary gland is called the master gland, isn't it? Because it functions on many other glands too. Pituitary gland, especially, it releases growth hormone. Growth hormone, you know, growth hormone regulates the growth. Okay, it controls the functioning of all endocrine glands too. Okay, pituitary. Next, thyroid gland, it is present over here. It releases the hormone thyroxine. Earlier I have discussed about T3, T4, isn't it? It controls the metabolism rate. If this is not functioning properly, the metabolism is disturbed. Entire body metabolism, metabolism of carbohydrates and proteins, that thing is disturbed, and it brings about the balanced growth. Okay, parathyroid gland, parathormone, it controls calcium balance of the body. This is important. It controls calcium balance of the body. Adrenal gland is present in the kidneys, isn't it? Adrenaline, it prepares the body for emergency. This is called fight or flight hormone. Okay. Pancreas, islets of Langerhans, they release insulin. It controls glucose level of the body. Next, testes, they release the hormone testosterone. It controls the growth and development of male reproductive system. Okay, ovaries, estrogen, the hormones released are estrogen and progesterone. The estrogen, these controls the growth and development of female reproductive system. Okay, now that is about hormones. Questions are, I think I have given earlier questions. Okay. Questions I have given. Hormones, mostly picture-based questions are asked on hormones. We have seen this what you can say, we have seen trophic movements, isn't it? Trophic movements. Now we'll see the question can be compare the comparison between movement in sensitive plant, example that is Mimosa pudica and touch me not, and movement in leg. How do you compare that? That we'll see. The type of movement here in Mimosa pudica, it is not plant movement. It is not muscular. It is non-muscular. It is a plant movement. Okay. It is animal movement. That is a basic thing. Okay. Control system. It is triggered due to the touch. Closure of the leaves of this touch-me-not is triggered due to touch, external stimulus, isn't it? That is nastic movement. Nastic, not trophic. It is nastic movement. It is controlled. The movement of leg, anything of the human beings or any animal, it is controlled by the brain. Brain tells you whether to move or not, isn't it? And the spinal cord, central nervous system, you can write. Cause of the movement, changes in the water pressure in the cells. Okay, here the muscular contraction and relaxation. When you lift, the one is contracting, this is relaxing, contracting, relaxing. Okay, energy requirement, less energy is required because it is based on water pressure changes. Energy is required, yes, energy is required for the muscle contraction, energy is required. Response time, it is quick but slower than muscles. If you touch, it is quick, but it is, when compared to this, it is slower. Example, leaf folds here, and leg bends or extends, flexes or extends, that you can write. Coming to reflex arc. Questions on reflex arc can be asked to draw the reflex arc, or also can be asked, this is the spinal cord, you know, this is the spinal cord, this is the stimulus, hot pan, assume that it is a hot pan, you are touching that, sensory receptors present in your palm, they will send the signal, through the sensory nerves to the spinal cord. Okay, if it is an immediate and involuntary action, the spinal cord will respond. If it has to be processed, for example, an apple is there, you want to touch and have it, it is okay, you want to have it, processing should go in your brain, for that the signals go further to the brain. If it for rapid action, if it is a hot pan, you have to withdraw your hand, remove your hand from that hot pan. That is an immediate rapid action. For that, the spinal cord will respond. Okay, so here the sensory nerves, they give the information to the spinal cord, and these are the relay neurons that connect to the sensory and the motor nerves, and the information is passed through the motor nerves to the muscle here, because muscle has, it is the effector organ, and it should withstand, or what you can say, it should remove the contract such that you will remove your hand from the hot pan. Okay, this is the reflex action. So you are going to write the stimulus and the receptor and the sensory nerve and the spinal cord. Further action, you will write the brain and the relay nerve and the motor neuron and the effector organ, and what is the response. Stimulus and response. Look, I have given this like this. Stimulus, you have seen an apple. Okay, through the sensory neuron, it is going, this is spinal reflex arc. This is for rapid and involuntary, I told you. In the spinal cord, the action is, for hot pan, the action is immediately withdraw your hand. So the rapid and involuntary action, this occurs through spinal reflex arc. Through the motor neuron, it goes to the effector organ, that is a muscle, and the response is withdraw. Here the process is going on for this decision whether to have it or not. This is decision making. It further grows to the brain. If you want it, you will pick up the apple and have it. This is the reflex arc. I explained it. Okay. Now we'll move to the final part, that is reproduction. Reproduction. Draw a neat labeled diagram of LS, longitudinal section of the flower. This is the longitudinal section. Transverse is this longitudinal section of the flower. You should draw this figure. This is bisexual flower. Bisexual means both are present. Stamen and pistil, both are present here. Look at this figure. This is the petal, this is the filament and anther, this is stamen, isn't it? This is, what is this? Is the pistil, stigma, style and ovary. Female reproductive and male reproductive you are going to write. Okay? And these are the sepals. These are petals and these are the sepals. This is receptacle. If you draw this figure, it will fetch 4 marks. Next, we'll move on to vegetative propagation in plants and advantages. You can write differences between all the questions. I'll read out and I'll explain one after the other. Why does menstruation happen each month in female body? What are the different methods of contraception? What are the advantages of sexual reproduction over asexual reproduction? Write about the fertilization process in plants in detail. Vegetative propagation in plants. This differences between binary fission and multiple fission. I'll complete this within 15 minutes. We'll finish it off. And suggest some tips for good genital health. How are modes of reproduction different in unicellular and multicellular organisms? You can note down those questions. Now, modes of reproduction, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction, mostly it is in unicellular organisms, but few you can say like vegetative propagation that you can see in plants like bryophyllum, layering and grafting, all that you can see in plants. Okay, so mostly asexual, it is in unicellular organism. We'll come to different types. Fission is just breakage. It can be binary, breaking into 2 or breaking into multiple. Fragmentation, again breaking into pieces. Regeneration, budding, vegetative propagation and spore formation. Okay. Now, binary fission, look at the figure. Binary fission in amoeba. Binary fission is, questions can be asked which of the organisms they observe this binary fission. It is in paramecium, it is in leishmania. Leishmania is an organism which causes Kala-Azar disease, and in amoeba. Amoeba, look at the plant parent cell, it is unicellular organism. Parent cell, 2 nucleus are formed here and it divides, the cytoplasm is divided and 2 daughter cells are formed. This is, excuse me, this is binary fission. This is binary fission. The plant, it develops 2 nuclei and cytoplasm gets divided and 2 daughter cells are formed which will have nuclei. Each will have a nucleus. Okay. Next, multiple fission, it is seen in Plasmodium. Plasmodium is the microorganism which causes malaria, protozoa. It is a protozoa. You can see this is the cell, Plasmodium cell. See, this is schizoid here, and see the different nuclei, daughter nuclei. Many are developed first. Many are developed, numerous are developed, and they are, this schizoid wall is ruptured, here it is ruptured, and merozoites, many are released. Many are released. This is multiple fission. Okay, like that in our body, this plasmodium, when it enters, it is multiplied and many plasmodium are given out and it leads to malaria. This is malarial parasite, Plasmodium. Then fragmentation. You can see the difference between binary fission and fragmentation. Binary fission, their nuclei, different nuclei are formed. Here the same parent cell, it is a different parent cell is formed. A septa is created here. That is what you can say, a bridge-like thing, a septa, wall-like thing, septa is wall-like thing is created here, and they divide into pieces. They divide into pieces. This into pieces or fragments. This is fragmentation. It is in Spirogyra. This you can find in Spirogyra. Next, regeneration. Regeneration is a process when a parent, it can they have the special cells that carry out regeneration. What is happening? These cells, they proliferate, and they produce large number of cells which undergo certain changes to become various cells. See, this cell, it is undergoing some of the changes. You can see the change over here. This part is one and this part is other part of the parent. So this is regenerating. So these special cells, they carry out regeneration. They proliferate in such a way that they produce large number of cells and they undergo certain changes. First, you can see here one changes. Look at the changes. Okay, this is regeneration in planaria. Regeneration in planaria. Planaria and hydra. Hydra, how is the regeneration in hydra? Hydra develops, you can see the tentacles in hydra. Hydra, it is present in water. Hydra is present in water. You can see, observe tentacles in hydra. This is the parent hydra. It has developed a bud over here, small bud. Over a period of time, this bud will develop and it becomes new hydra. When it goes to considerable size, it detaches from the parent and it forms a new individual. This is regeneration in hydra, and this is called, because it forms a bud, it is called budding. Questions can be asked. Which of the following develops new daughter cells through budding process? That is hydra. Okay, got it. Hydra and yeast, they reproduce using this process called bud. Next, spore formation. Sponges, you can look at that. Look at that. Spores are the microscopic reproductive units. These are microscopic. What happens? A large number of these tiny spores, the parent produces these large number of tiny spores. They are released like this into the environment, and these spores, they germinate to form a new plant. These spores, parent, this is sporangium, these will produce large number of spores. They are released into the environment, and each single spore will develop into an adult. That is, climatic condition should be damp, wet, damp and moist conditions in damp, warm environment conditions. Okay. Okay. Spore formation is mostly seen in fungus like Rhizopus, that is Rhizopus and Mucor. In Mucor. Next. What are the advantages of this vegetative propagation? Next sexual reproduction is vegetative propagation. What is reproduction? When male gamete and female gamete, they fuse together to form a zygote, a new plant, new daughter cell is formed, isn't it? That is sexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, no male or female, no, without male or female gametes, they are able to reproduce their progeny or young ones, isn't it? That is asexual reproduction. In vegetative propagation, few plants, they have ability to give rise to new individuals, new plants, and through different body plant parts, like it may be leaf. Bryophyllum, if you have observed, the leaf is like this, and it will develop new plant like this. If you pluck it and if you sow it again, it will grow into new plant. Okay. Bryophyllum, leaves of bryophyllum reproduce by vegetative propagation. We can do this by cutting, layering and grafting too. Why it is important, this vegetative propagation? Grafting method, we can use the grafting method in flowering plants and in fruit plants. Nowadays most of them, they are following this grafting method, because if you sow a seed, it takes more time, more years to grow and give fruit. To give yield, it takes more years. If it is done through grafting, the result is very fast. Okay, so the new plants can be grown faster using this method. Plants like banana, rose, orange and jasmine, they have lost which have lost their ability to produce seeds, they can be grown using this vegetative propagation. And one more thing is, they are genetically similar to their parent. They are genetically similar to their parent. This is what vegetative propagation. Now coming to fertilization in plant. Fertilization, look at the figure. Look at the figure. I told you pistil is the reproductory part. Pistil, you can see pistil, parts of pistil. Pistil is the female reproductory part of flower, and stamen is the male reproductory part of flower. You can see the pistil. Pistil has stigma, style and ovary, and stamen has anther and filament. In the anther, pollen grains are concentrated. These pollen grains, they have male gametes. Pollen grains have male gametes. Self-pollination or through cross-pollination. If it is bisexual, self-pollination is possible. If it is unisexual, it is through cross-pollination, okay, through wind or any manually also people will do like that if they rub, if it is unisexual, bisexual, okay. And female gamete is present in the ovary, in the ovule, okay. Now coming to this, when this male gamete is carried through this pollen grain, it sticks on to this stigma, okay. A pollen tube is developed. A pollen tube is developed. It passes through the style of the pistil and it reaches the ovule. In the ovule, there is this egg, female gamete. Oh, this is ovary, right? This complete figure is, this is ovary and this is ovule. This is egg. This male gamete and female gamete, they fuse to give zygote. They fuse to give zygote. I told you gametes are haploid. After this, then fertilization has occurred. After the fertilization, post-fertilization changes, what happens? The zygote which is formed, it undergoes repeated cell division. Zygote is formed. That undergoes multiple cell divisions and it forms an embryo. This forms an embryo within the ovule. Now this ovule, it develops as a hard coat around itself, and it is converted into seed. Now this forms a seed. The ovary matures into this ovary completely. This matures into fruit. Okay, and after this, therefore it is protecting, this fruit is protecting the seeds inside, because seeds are very essential for the further development of the plant, isn't it? The remaining parts of the flowers like petals or sepals, all they are fallen, they fall off after drying. Now seed contains the future plant or the embryo. Now the process of development of embryo, now from this, a process of developing this embryo into seedling is developed. A seedling is developed, that is known as germination. Germination, okay. Germination starts when this seed, it absorbs water. It absorbs water. Okay, it gives out a sapling, that is a stem, and a root. We have seen the trophic movements in the seedling. What is happening? The root, it observes geotrophism, and this observes negative geotrophism. This observes positive geotrophism. This is about the post-fertilization changes. Okay, this is about fertilization in plants. We have done this question too. Now, fertilization in human beings. Human of male and female reproductory organs can be asked. That you can study from the textbook. Because lack of time I could not cover it. I'll just speed up with the fertilization in human beings. Okay, once the male gamete sperm, the sperm, it enters, these are the different parts of, this is the female reproductory organ, these are the different parts. This is the uterus, this is the ovary, this is the tube. What is this? These are called fallopian tubes or oviducts. Oviduct or fallopian tubes, both are the same. These are called fimbriae. Okay, this is the ovary. Through this process, oogenesis and all, one ovum is released every month. Ovum means one egg. One egg is released every month. Only one is released. But millions of sperms enter. They reach the fallopian tube. Then ovum is waiting here. Egg is waiting here. When this ovum, it fuses with this sperm, it gives zygote, and this is fertilization. Fertilization has occurred. It stays here over 3 days, and from here multiple changes, multiple cell divisions occur, and it is transferred to the, what you can say, uterus. This is uterus, and this lining of uterus, this is called endometrium. It takes around 6 days over here. Then the embryo, it is stuck onto the wall. This is called implantation. The embryo got implanted, we said. Implantation. The embryo is implanted onto the endometrium. Okay, this is the implantation of embryo in the uterus. Okay, then it is confirmed that she is pregnant. Okay, then what is menstruation? Menstruation question can be asked. If at all that process has not occurred, the fertilization has not occurred in the fallopian tube, every month I said one egg is released. It is not produced, it is released. Through the process of oogenesis, one egg is released. Okay, into this fallopian tube, it waits for the sperm. If at all it is not met with the sperm, fertilization has not occurred, what is going to happen? That goes and it stays on this endometrium, and along with this the other cells are also going to stay over here, and over a period of time this is shed off through, this is the uterine lining. This uterine lining and this not utilized, that egg is also shed off. That is called sloughing, or you can say just shed off. It is shed off. The unfertilized egg is shed during that, and it comes out through vagina as bleeding. That is called menstruation. Okay, for every 28 days. The cycle is for every 28 days. Normally it is like that. It may go more than, it may be more than that or less than that. Okay. Coming to the last one is contraceptives. Contraceptives, how to avoid, these contraceptives are used to avoid fertilization. Contraceptives can be chemical, natural, or barrier, or surgical. Natural, like not willing to have the intimacy, then fertilization doesn't occur, or monitoring the ovulation time, calculating the ovulation time and avoiding the intimacy at that time. Okay, then monitoring the changes in the cervical fluid, mucus, that is natural. Okay, coming to chemicals, using some contraceptive implants, like you can IUDs, intrauterine devices are used, and also contraceptive pills, tablets are used to avoid fertilization. This is for birth control. Next, barriers like condoms or femidoms are used. Then surgical procedures can be vasectomy in male and tubectomy in female. These are the important questions. I have dealt almost the important questions, most of the important questions, beta. You try to listen to all these classes. If you just listen this, getting through exams will be easy. Listen to all the videos carefully, and few figures you can practice the diagrams, male and female reproductive organs, only that I didn't discuss because due to lack of time, and all I have discussed. Go through these very thoroughly. You will definitely will fetch more marks. All the best for your biology examinations. Like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.